them to the phone. And I wish I had a number so I could be color unknown. And then I'd have a look into my eyes and never let it go.
All right, and good day, everybody. It's Brother Chris here with Gypsy Lady Eva. I know Gypsy Lady Eva, this week you've actually had some up and downs. But what we would say, though, is for anybody, please send actually any healing energy to Eva's family. They're going through a lot of turmoil right now, and they're not too sure what's going to happen. We're not going to go in full discussion, but please send energy help to her and her family. But besides all that, go ahead.
I was just saying, and in advance, thank you all very much for anything and everything.
Yeah,
it is very deeply appreciated.
So God, but besides what actually took place to put you in this situation, how was your week going beforehand?
Well, just to say that she's in the hospital. She's a 94-year-old woman. She's relatively weak, and all the tests, thank God, all the tests came back negative.
Okay, all right. But before all this stuff, how were you doing directly? Like, how was your week before everything actually took place?
Everything was, as far as I was concerned, everything was kind of fine.
Yeah.
We were just doing our thing. My mom was getting weaker and weaker, and that was a very big concern.
Okay, all right.
And as they say, the brown stuff hit the fan.
Yeah. But we're not going to go in full discussion at all. It's
Nope.
more confidential. So yeah, that's one thing that we're striving for. But please send actually energy positive energy to Eva and her family. They're going through a lot of turmoil. But yeah, so recently, just within the States, for those that are still living under the stone, within the States and also with Canada, yesterday, Donald J. Trump actually went to, well, they did a live video with him. But yesterday, though, a lot of things actually happened. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago?
Golly, I'm not sure.
But,
must have been 2 days ago.
Okay, all right. But yeah, no, a lot of things actually happened with Donald J. Trump. He was actually, his case was not thrown actually out of the Supreme Court at all.
That was yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, so his case was not thrown out of the Supreme Court. He was charged completely. And they basically slapped his hand and just said, oh, don't do it again, which is the worst thing ever.
But
go ahead.
he is still a convicted felon in the office of presidency.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't know how much you know about it, but in our constitutional aspect of it, he will be banned from certain high-level secret, or not secret, but high-level negotiations, information, that sort of thing, simply because he is a convicted felon. And one thing he can't have is a gun.
That is good.
Yeah, that means he's open. He's open.
Yeah. So
Fair game.
Anybody go right ahead. It's like God. But with us Canadian,
And I didn't know this. I found this out this morning. They can even limit some of his Secret Service services.
Yep. Well, that's good. Especially
Too bad.
Yeah. So for all the Trumpies who are still Trumpies that have not realized and woke up to the window, to the light, listen to people though that know and actually are tuned within the spiritual community. We actually were all given the spiritual information, and we tried to bring it to you guys, and you guys kind of blocked it. Now with Canada though, Justin Trudeau has given his word though that he is resigning. He was basically forced from his own party to resign. His party did get together and put a letter together and said though that he needs to resign. But the funny thing though is he turned around and said he talked to his family. Now, you probably got this, Gypsy Lady Eva, about him saying, though, he's talked to his family. But the thing, though, is what real family? His kids are growing up. His parents are dead. He is now divorced. So, really, what family did he talk to? That's the big thing.
Well, he does have his son. No, we're talking about Trump?
No, Justin Trudeau.
Trudeau.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not that familiar with his background.
Okay. All right. His father.
I know he is divorced.
Yeah.
And I think, did he have children? If they are, they're all grown.
He actually had some children. But what I mean, my books, they're pretty much growing up now. But yeah.
So, yeah, who can he... Well, it depends how you define family.
It's like, so... But yeah, good question though. Have you heard from our special guest today?
Yes, I did. She sent me energies and love
Okay.
with what's going on. So
Okay. All right.
and we kind of chit-chatted a little bit.
All right. Well, I think I hear her at the door. You want to keep on talking? I'm going to go and get the door. So...
Did that come through? Okay.
All right, so I'm actually joined right now. So it's Gypsy Lady Eva. We're actually joined with PJ Mahoney. We do say thanks a lot for being actually here on the Divine Oracle podcast.
Thank you.
So
Glad to be here.
yes. Now I know though that you personally know Gypsy Lady Eva.
I do. I do.
Right.
She's my partner in crime.
So yes. All right, and yeah,
You're not supposed to say anything like that.
it's like so. But yes, what? And also, you're a good friend of actually us here, like myself, and also my life partner Trevor, which is so awesome. So yeah, for those that are just joining in, just to let you know, PJ Mahoney. Do you mind if I call you by your real name?
That would be better. Actually.
Okay, all right, thank you. Her real name is Pam Mahoney. Such a sweetheart lady. So Pam though is an author actually of a great book, and also she is a spiritual medium with pets. So we're going to talk today with you about the book and also about being a pet psychic. I believe that's a proper term?
Some call it animal communicator, some call it pet psychic.
Okay.
Whatever feels comfortable, I don't care.
Okay, all right. So Gypsy Lady Eva, you got the book you said?
Yes, I do, someplace.
Okay.
I gave it to my sister, and she read it, and she says, "When is the next one coming out?" And I said, and or the second part, or the next book, or however you want to put it.
Yes.
And she enjoyed it, so.
That's like that. So everybody, just let you know the name of the book is Lost Heritage. Am I correct? Yeah. And you can find it actually on Amazon. That you can find it there. Anywhere else so that you think, Pam, that you think people can get it from?
Right now it's on Amazon. It's, I believe it's on Kindle. It's soon, hopefully soon it'll be out on audiobook as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, it's a great book though. Pack it up. Get no great friend of Gypsy Lady Eva's and also mine here. Now I was just basically got into it, and I loved the fourth chapter, the ending within it. What did you like about the book, Gypsy Lady Eva?
Oh, I just like the whole idea that she brought up in the storyline. It just was fascinating. And I liked her little bit of humor that she threw in here and there.
Yes. It's like...
you don't see that a lot anymore.
No.
Which is sad.
So it's like...
Because if you can't laugh, don't join the class.
So true, so true. That's one thing that we constantly say here, and need to find. Now, Pam, do you want to read the last bit, please?
I will do my best. We still mourn the loss of the physical, but we are never really gone. There are those who can do this on your planet, but has never been embraced or widely accepted. It is sad. There would be more peace if all would connect on a deeper level. I'm afraid if we don't figure this out fast, it may spill over into your Earth. With that, the two headed back to the cottage for a restless night's sleep.
So that there was my favorite part actually of chapter 4, because it felt like though that you were actually kind of speaking to me, especially for what I went through last year, with both parents dying, right?
Yeah.
So it felt like that to me, though that you were personally speaking to me, right? And especially with the world these days, especially with the climate change.
Well, it did come from the heart, because I did lose my brother quite a few years ago. And most people find this very odd, but oftentimes a light would start flickering and start flickering crazy. So I would say, okay, James, that's enough. And the light would stop. So I know when there's spirit around and talk to them.
Yeah. So it's like, gosh. Now for this book though, how did the book come actually as one?
I've always loved to write. I've never was encouraged, because I had trouble in school. My English was pretty bad in school. They had to lower the bar so I could at least pass it, and I couldn't get into college, university, because I couldn't pass the English test to get in. But all my life I have loved to write and did little doodles here and there. Well, back, quite a few years ago, I went to Newfoundland. And we went to PEI, and then we ended up going over to Newfoundland. And while I was doing that, I had seen several foxes. In PEI, I had seen a silver fox. I had to stop for this thing to cross in front of me. And while I was in Newfoundland, I came across a marbled fox. That night, a fox came to me in my dreams and spoke to me. And I thought that was absolutely marvelous. From there, I built the story based on the fox that came to my dreams. A lot of the landscape and a lot of the personality are people that I remember seeing or I integrated into from Newfoundland. So some of it's personal experience that I've actually drawn on to put into this book.
Okay, all right. And I know there's a large lot of chapters actually in here, but it's not like a normal chapter. Chapters will actually have a lot of pages.
Yeah, well, it depends on how they set them up. So
it's like, gosh, but it's a great book though. Now, Gypsy Lady Eva.
Yes.
All right. Anything though that you want to actually ask our special guest about the book?
When's the next book coming out?
Due to health,
I got a one-track mind today.
Oh, that's all right. Due to health reasons in the family, I've been having trouble writing over the last year. I have been writing on a new book. I had started a sequel to this one as well. I think when my family settles down a bit, I might be able to get more writing in.
Well, I love the story. I love how everything kind of falls into place when you get into the last chapter.
Yeah.
And it's like I say, you just kind of left, I don't want to say you left us hanging there, but you left us, there's more to the story.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And it's like, please write the next one. I want to read it.
Okay.
Now, did you mean to do that at all?
In a way, yeah. I wanted it to be a book that if you don't happen to get to the second one, you were fine. But if you get the next one,
yes,
it's going to be great. So it was kind of a combination that if for some reason it didn't actually come out, then you were still fine because you got most of the story there and it did wrap up.
Okay. All right. So people are interested again, though, it is called Lost Heritage. It actually has a young gentleman actually on it, a young girl, and also a silver fox actually on the cover. It is a great book. Now, we're going to go a little bit more actually details actually with this book. So yes,
I do have a question that she uses. Fox, the silver fox,
yes,
your sacred animal, or is it just
yes?
Okay, just checking.
Yeah,
just checking.
And that's why it was so easy for me to connect and make this book because I felt like I had that connection that helped me put it through to paper.
Yeah. So the characters besides the silver fox, who are the other characters and where did they come from?
So the male is actually named after my father. And I've always admired my dad, how he always worked very hard to do what he could. He came up from poor beginnings and he's worked really hard and always focused on his family. So I wanted to honor him in some way by naming the main character after him. And it's interesting because all the guys I worked would call him Jimmy, but his real name is James. So that's where the flip at the end comes in, because his real name is James. So, but my dad acts like a clown, but when he needs to be serious, it's James.
So, yeah. So good. And what about the other characters, though?
Oh, the other characters. Okay, so you know where Trier came from, which is the silver fox. I like the snake. The snake is actually after Labradorite, from Labrador. When I was in Newfoundland, they have this beautiful stone called Labradorite, and it's got all these beautiful colors and stuff like this. And the stone, I don't want to say too much, give it all away.
No.
But the stone that he guards is connected to him, to the snake, and they reflect these colors. And there's a little, just a tiny, tiny hint of the legend in that. I kind of incorporated a tiny bit of the legend of Labradorite into that character, or the stone itself.
What about the old man that lives in the house?
He was just a curmudgeon.
It's like
I needed somebody who was a leader, a guide, something like that. But I don't want to say too much more because I don't want to give it away.
No, it's good though. For everybody though interested, again though, you can pick up this book. Again though, you can pick it up on Amazon and a whole bunch of other locations. Again, those you want to sort of let our viewers know where they can pick the book up.
Well, right now, only on Amazon. You can do it Kindle, and I'm hoping to get it on the other. Once in a while, I do book signings. I have a few books myself, so if you happen to be in Southern Ontario, I can get them as well. I don't have them in bookstores because I have to do that a whole different way.
Okay. All right. So yeah, for everybody across seas, in different countries, so it's a great book to pick up, especially if you want to learn more about English and learn more about actually the way that Pam writes the book. It's a great way to do. But anything else, Gypsy Lady Eva?
No, it's just a great book. Read it because there's so much in there, and it does give you some things to think about.
So, all right. We'll be back right after this quick commercial break.
It's time to forget about your age. Forget about your race. Because dementia doesn't care. It's set to be its biggest killer, and too many are facing the disease alone. When you underneath HauntedLivePodcast.com to find Oracle page, you'll find a link.
That's what's going on, Mom and Dad.
Find a cure if we stand united against dementia.
Hey everyone, check out our merchandise that we have now listed underneath HauntedLivePodcast.com with our merch store. Check it out. We've got so much items all together with cleansing items and crystals and so much more. Check us out, HauntedLivePodcast.com.
Follow us here at Haunting Live. Our new show, we just started doing new shows in November, and we are honored to have a brand new co-host on our shows now. Yolanta Mary is our
Sure, we did that.
co-host, and
When we
she,
were in the hotel
works for us on
the
side.
night after Dad's funeral.
The show and discusses different topics on the show. So we're really happy to have her here this season. So go check out our brand new episodes at the Haunting Live podcast.
Hey everyone, it's Brother Chris here from Divine Oracle Podcast. Join me Mondays as I do readings and I post them right here in Podbean. It's easy, it's good lighting, and it's your weekly readings. So join me, will you? Alrighty, so yeah, we're back now, especially with Pam Mahoney. The first half, though, we did talk about actually her great book, Lost Heritage. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to sort of switch now, and we're going to talk about her spiritual life. Since Eve and I, we usually talk about a lot of spiritual stuff here, but that book, though, speaks in different ways to people. Now, I know, though, that you have been seen by some people on YouTube, right?
Okay.
Through our good friend, which is Sally Diane's Psychic Sunday show.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
No, which is really wonderful. So again, those check out Psychic Sundays. Sometimes Pam's actually on. You can actually go in and actually ask questions to Pam directly. But yes, but that's a little publicity for Sally and also for you. Yeah. But yeah, going with spiritual though, we're going to start off with you're a pet psychic.
Yes.
All right. When did you start noticing that you were a pet psychic?
Oh, I have been an empath with animals all my life. I'd often be able to interact with animals that most people could not. But I didn't start practicing it until the last 10 years, which puts a lot of years before that.
We're not saying how old Pam is.
Yeah, she's
What? She's 29. Leave her alone.
29. I'll go for that one. But when I was a child, I often would be asked. So I decided to, at that point, I would house sit animals that had physical and social issues and could not go to kennels. So if people needed to go on holidays, they would ask for me. So I was doing quite well with that. But because I had no idea what was going on, the doctors prescribed me antidepressants, and I was having emotional problems. It wasn't until 10 years ago that I finally decided I'd had enough, and I went off all the medication, and I went off my disability that I had gained. I've beaten that like 95%, and the moment I went off the medication, I started seeing spirits. So I figured the reason why I was having problems is because I was a medium, but wasn't taught properly how to use it. Therefore, I was having very, very terrible social issues. So from that point on, I decided I was going to explore it, expand on it, and make the best of what I had. And I am a much, much happier person now, knowing what I can do and how to do it, than I ever was when I was younger.
Okay, all right. So you were babysitting right when you were younger, right?
Oh yeah.
Now, what at that time period? If you look back at that time period, what kind of things were you picking up from the animals then?
Oh, I could often pick up emotions and feelings, and you could tell when the animal was annoyed and stuff like that. I mean, it was easy to tell that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Gypsy Lady Eva?
Golly gee, I don't know. You kind of covered the whole thing. I guess my first question, or my only question, is when did you really first pick up on animals that you remember? How old were you?
Oh.
Let me put it this way, that you knew you had some kind of connection with animals that other people didn't have.
I guess if I look back now, I would say extremely young, like maybe 10 or 12. But when I was that age, I didn't come across that because our house was, my sister had an accident and we were dealing with the struggles of that and, family life. And then everybody telling me, well, you're just depressed and stuff like that. So then they would try and bury it. It hasn't been... I've always felt in tune, but like I said, it hasn't been until this past 10 years where I've actually been able to connect and speak, get images back, and find things out. So, I've always felt like I've had a connection, but then I didn't feel like I had much of a connection with people. I was a very introverted child.
Well, animals are better than people sometimes.
Yeah. So too. Sometimes they don't talk back. Sometimes they do.
Oh, honey, they do. Trust me, they do.
Well, the one thing, and I know you would pick up on this immediately, is one thing that animals do that humans don't, is that they give unconditional love.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
if they have something to say, they're honest about it.
Oh, yes.
And it's like, okay, sure, fine. But yeah,
I just got told off by my cat.
Oh, I can't tell you how many times my dog has said, you know what, I've had enough. I don't care, telling my dog she's got to go outside. I've told you I don't want. I have an argument with my dog and people look at me funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there have been times when it has really become a blessing, even though it was during a heartache. When we lost one of our dogs, it was really nice to be able to connect with her and tell her that there was nothing we could do and that she was able to pass. We were going to let her join her mom, her female, our other female dog. Are you okay?
Well, what you said, it just I've lost cats. Cats have been
Yeah.
my life for the last 40 years.
Yeah.
And saying goodbye is very difficult.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I couldn't drive. And we were going to the vet hospital. And I was able to connect with her and say, you know what, we're going to come say goodbye. You're going to be with your mommy. And we were told she had a couple days left. She was stable. She was okay. We had a couple days. Within 10 minutes, after I spoke to her and said, it's okay. Within 10 minutes, she was gone. And as heartbroken as I was, I hated seeing her suffer. But on the other hand, I have seen her since then. I'll be standing in the kitchen and I'll see her walk behind me. So I know spiritually she still sticks around to make sure we're okay. But I miss the physical. I really do. I miss the physical.
I saw something on Facebook, different times, and it says the old cat will bring you a new cat. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that's the same with dogs, that when they leave this plane, they bring you someone else, and there's a bit of a spirit in them. And you going like, oh my God, that's what Fluffy would have done, or fill in the blank.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, we have one now that reminds me of a dog we had 30 years ago. And I says, I swear it's Muggsy reincarnated, because he's got the same attitude, same posture, same attitude, and every once in a while he's got the same snip back too. It's got that same energy.
So, question though. Mm-hmm. All right, different animals, all right, or pets, and there's different animals actually out there.
Yeah.
Do they actually have a different frequency, like the animal level, than us humans?
I blend with the energy they have, so I have to match their energy in order to connect with them, and that. It's much better. My biggest thing is I gotta get out of my own head, because my own head is my worst enemy when it comes to something like that. I have to draw a blank slate, connect with the energy, and sometimes, some animals just don't want to talk to you. Other times I've had wild animals and I've sat there and had a whole conversation with them. So you have to match their frequency at that point.
Okay, all right. Now, how do you connect though? Do you because some people do connect with scribing or just mentally?
Oh, I just do mentally. I use my energy. I reach out. I find their energy, and I blend. And then I ask permission to talk with them. I don't go into anybody's head, and I don't talk to anybody's pets without their permission either. You don't talk to somebody's pet without permission, because sometimes they can be a little revealing.
Yeah, yeah.
And owners can be offended if you're doing something that they don't approve of. So wild animals is one thing, but pets, you don't do a communication with them unless you have an owner's approval.
Okay. All right. Now, I know, though, that this past summer, though, you were up north, in northern Ontario.
Yeah.
With Trevor and myself, right?
Yeah.
You were out with my sibling.
Yeah.
All right. Besides that slide and that whatever the thing, the spin around, you were connecting more with animals.
Yeah.
Right?
I do.
And my sibling said that a fox came up to the car or something like that.
We had a deer right beside the car.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, the deer.
We had the deer.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there and I was connecting with it, and it stood within 5 feet of the car. And it would just kind of look at me, and we would look back, and I would kind of communicate with it. It was just, it's an exhilarating feeling when you can connect and they kind of show you things. I remember having a horse once. One of my first real good experiences when I was learning how to do this. We did a horse. I asked if I could do this horse. They said it was a rescue. I says, okay, well, and they said, go right ahead if you can get anything. Well, I started getting arthritis and pain. I could feel the pain. It was showing me the pain, feeling the pain. It was showing me things, transferring energy and all that. And I started writing everything down I was getting from this horse. And I said, okay, we got arthritis here. We've got pain here. We've got this here. I'm getting fear here and this, that. And I said, for some reason, this horse is showing me cortisone. I says, can you give a horse cortisone? And the owner turns to me and she says, he got his first cortisone shot today. And I thought to myself, okay, that's confirmation. Because to me, it was I don't know if you can give a horse this type of stuff. So they show me images, they show me pictures, they send me words. If they've heard words, I'll hear it. It's a whole thing for me. But when I do it with wild animals, it's they don't have the human connection, so you have to be more on the visual as what they see. Where horses, they hear words, they hear sounds and stuff like this. Animals, they don't have the words, so I don't hear the words as much from wild animals.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Gypsy?
No, I was just thinking, you said they don't have the words. I agree, but I don't agree. Especially with pets, because you do talk with them and they do start associating words with what they are meaning, if that makes any sense.
Well, I did say with pets you do have that. I says it's with the wild
Oh, okay.
animals.
I'm sorry, I missed that point.
Fine. With wild animals, they don't have that conversation with humans, so they don't hear words.
No, but I think they make connections. I don't know how to explain it, but they do make a connection.
Oh yeah.
And just recently, I've been reading a lot on different sites, and they were talking how animals are, for one thing, a lot smarter than we give them credit for, and they also have communications. They may not be in words that we use, but they are communications, and they are complete.
Oh yeah.
They aren't just, and you just confirmed that, because it's like, we as humans, because we are humans and we have used animals all through our lives, that we are just now beginning to recognize that animals are just more than animals. They are something beyond us, or something that walk the earth with us in harmony.
With us. They cohabitate. Like when you said, like, if I would take the deer as opposed to the horse, the deer wouldn't know what cortisone was because it's never heard it. Whereas when I was with the horse, I heard the word because they had heard the word. So that's the only difference when I see that. But animals, they're also here to teach us things. And a lot of people, I hate to say this, but a lot of people say, oh, lovely dolphins or fluffy this or that. But every animal has an opposite side, and there is a balance in nature which we would think is evil and not evil, but animals don't see it. They see it as a survival and just the way life is. So if
that's an interesting. Yeah, I'm sorry.
They know what their purpose is here, as opposed to we think we're the dominant and no other animal should kill us. They know what their purpose is here. They know.
I don't know, if a lion comes running at me, I'm going to run like hell because I don't want to die.
Well, it is survival, but they understand that there is that chance that things are going to go wrong. Whereas a human, if a lion comes running at me and attacks and kills me, you're going to get a whole lot of people out there attacking the lion. Well, the lion is doing what it's built naturally meant to do, and they understand that, but humans don't.
That's okay. So have you come across any animals that are very hard by chance?
Hard as in what way?
Picking up their energy.
Oh yeah. If I've come across an animal that has just been terribly abused or something like that, they've closed themselves off and they don't trust. And those are very difficult animals to get to trust you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So before we wrap it up, I do say thanks though for being here, but if people want to know more information about you, how can they reach out to you directly?
Okay.
So
I'll give you an email address. Let me just do this.
I know, spur of the moment. I do apologize. It's like
they do this to me every time. Okay, you can get me at spirutalmediumpam @gmail.com. So it's spirutalmediumpam at gmail.com.
Okay. All right.
So that would be an easy way to get a hold of me.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you have a website though?
I do have a website,
So
but I'm not going to prattle that one on.
it's like it always happens. It always happens. It's like so you should see right when we're all together. If Pam's with us or you with Gypsy Lady Eva, like for us going actually this past summer though, we were up north and we decided to go to a beach. It was called Beach, right? Mm-hmm. And also we're actually in the water and. It was cold, okay, but not extremely cold. But Pam goes out so far, and she's like, "I can't go any further."
No, it was cold. I'm sorry, it was cold.
That's like that was actually off of Lake Huron, the northern portion. So that's one.
And you know what gets me? There's these idiots who do this deliberately.
Oh, well, do you know what? When I remember when I was down in California, we went boogie boarding, and the thing was, you had to go in, wait till you got numb. Then you could do your boogie boarding. And it's like, oh, who's dumb? I did it. I had so much fun. But next time, I think I'm going to wear a parka while I'm out in that water.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how quirky we are. But your website again.
My website.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%. I can I give it to you and you can just put it on the end of your
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, though, is what we'll do is we'll put a link actually to her website within the description, and also Pam's email. But yes, we do say thanks. But before we close up today's show,
yes,
what would you say to people that are learning within the spiritual community, with animals or with people?
Find a group to practice. Absolutely. It doesn't matter if you're any good or not. You'll find that people have been doing it for years and they still have bad days. Find a group to practice with. Find a group to learn because you'll find that what works for one person won't work for another. Definitely, I think my base is find a group of people to practice with, a friend to practice against. So that's the only way you're going to learn. That's the only way you're going to get better.
All right.
And don't be afraid to talk to people.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Open your mouth and use those vocal cords.
Yes, because you never know. You don't walk in there. As an example, you don't walk in and say, "Hey, I'm a psychic. Anybody interested?" That's not going to do it.
Read the room.
Okay, call the men in the little white jackets. But you do need to. You might drop a hint about paranormal. Don't use psychic because people get very afraid about that. But when you say paranormal, they're all oh, really?
Or I don't know why, but I'm getting this feeling that this and this. Is this happening? Is this true? You'll either get a yes or a no. And from there, or maybe they'll come back later and say, you know what? You asked me about that, and this actually did happen.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we do say thanks a lot for being here. Again, those if you want to find out for more information, there will be a link below. And also, please send out healing energy to Gypsy Lady Eva's family. Please also send love to her family. They're going through a lot of turmoil right now. But yes, what we like to do though is actually thank everybody for tuning in. And you guys have a wonderful day. And keep that spirit lifting high. We'll talk to you guys later. So,
bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for your time.
It's time to forget about your age. Forget about your race. Because dementia doesn't care. It's set to be its biggest killer, and too many are facing the disease alone. When you go to
Hands down, face locked onto